Hi, this is RN Bhaskar from Bhaskar Ki Business Baatein. And as always, we come to you with policy analysis, with an occasional story, a business story, an occasional conversation with someone related to business and investments. And this time we're going to talk about policy, international policy. We're going to talk about the policy that was ushered into the world rather brutally by the new president, Donald Trump. And the two policies that have worried the world are immigration and tariffs. And when you think of immigration tariffs, you must realize that Trump got this idea of high tariffs from someone he considers to be his mentor. And one of the first things he did when he became president was changing the name of Mount Denali to Mount McKinley. McKinley was the 25th president of the US. And what made McKinley a hero for Trump? Because McKinley was the one who introduced tariffs in America and got money for America in huge amounts. It was called the billion-dollar industry, the billion-dollar tariffs. Why did he introduce tariffs? To protect American industry. And normally, any kind of imposition of tariff eventually causes a country to go down. This time, the country actually prospered. This was the 1890s. The tariffs were first introduced to protect the sugar industry and then other industries. What tariffs do is very simple. Tariffs, high tariffs protect the industry in the beginning, but then makes the industry uncompetitive. It makes it lethargic, it kills innovation, and eventually increases prices, and the country goes down. This did not happen. But Trump liked the idea of America being rich, which McKinley contributed to enormously. And then suddenly, we came across a brilliant explanation by a man called Taimur Baig, the managing director and chief economist of DBS Bank. Speaking at a function in Bombay, at the Asia Society's meeting on the Trump regime.
If Trump goes ahead with tax cuts, tariffs, immigration tightness, we will expect to see substantial problems with respect to inflation and market financial stability going forward. He seems immensely powerful given the developments of the last 1 week, where the world seems to be bending its knee to his will. I think the gravity of economics will bring him down.
When Taimur Baig spoke, he spoke of the 1890s. Now remember, he's a very senior banker of one of the most important banks in South Asia. DBS is the biggest bank in Singapore. Secondly, he's a chief economist too. So he had a double vision of a banker and an economist, and he could see what was happening. He said the reason why McKinley succeeded was simply because at that time you had the gold rush. Gold came into America and the dollar was pegged to the gold standard, and so suddenly you had easy money coming into America, which allowed investments. And there was a second thing that happened, and that was immigration, big time immigration, especially by the Italians and the Irish, causing a huge pool of talent, money, suddenly allowed America to prosper and took away the negative effects of tariffs. They tried to remove tariffs, but vested interests were too strong and they could not remove tariffs. And now we come back to the present. Here you have Donald Trump, who wants to impose tariffs, but without the easy money that McKinley had. Instead, America has a huge debt, as the chart tells you. And instead, you have a huge deficit, as the chart will tell you. But those are things that are not so serious. When you come to immigration, you realize that what Trump thinks about immigration is not what actually is. First, yes, there are many Indian immigrants, and if you look at the chart, Indian immigrants are larger than other immigrants. They're illegal. But then you forget one more thing, that the Indian is the richest ethnic community in the US. So when you drive out Indians, you are driving out generators of money, generators of enterprise. They are not like other Latinos and Mexicans. Indians are the richest community there. That's one part. The second part is that 1 out of every 5 Americans is an immigrant. The farm in South America depends on immigrants. During harvest time, immigrants come in, and after the work is over, many immigrants go back, some stay on. The day you stop immigrants, farm becomes expensive. The day you stop immigrants, creativity becomes expensive. And when you stop immigrants and try to make do with local people who have lost their ability to work thanks to the freebies and the quantitative easing of the last decade, you will have Americans who have no interest in working and ask higher salaries. You will have labor inflation, whether you like it or not. And then when you bring up tariffs, tariffs will cause product inflation. You won't get the cheapest products. You will cause prices to go up. So it's a double whammy of inflation, on the one side by labor and the second side by tariffs. And there's a third problem. Trump is not the first person to use immigration. Look at this chart. The chart will tell you the immigration took place all the time. Every 10 years, there's a sea of immigrants that are pushed out of America. The only difference was that Trump advertised immigration as if it was his creation. And Trump humiliated them, putting them in shackles and in handcuffs and sending them back. The country that protested immediately was Colombia. It refused to allow the US planes to land. And there was a negotiated settlement. And finally, when they agreed to get them back, send them back without handcuffs and without shackles, the Colombians went back. And my only wonder is, if Colombia could do that, why couldn't India? Why did India allow its own immigrants to come back in handcuffs and shackles? What happened to India's pride? You talk of pride all the time, but the one time when Indian pride had to be protected was now. And why do migrants leave India? Because India has not been able to create enough jobs. The fault is not that of the people, it's the economy where you have not been able to create enough jobs. And instead of improving the economy, the government decides to raid immigrant agencies in India to prevent them from sending immigrants overseas. Immigrants are the largest source of foreign exchange into India. Look at India's remittances. They're larger than that of any other country. India's balance of payments is tolerable because of immigrant money coming in. The government has lost the ability to think clearly and to protect the dignity of Indians. But leave that aside, Trump has one more problem. Every time he deports Indians or any other illegal immigrants, he has to incur a cost. Look at the costs involved in deporting people. So, you have America with a huge debt beyond $36 trillion. You have America with an increasing deficit, which grows year by year, contributed also because of the stupid wars that are being fought, which America supports. You have the cost of deportation. You have the cost of people being sent away who could have reduced costs, increased productivity. And finally, you have tariffs, which are going to hurt America. And that will listen to what Taimur Baig says. He said, I know that Trump is powerful. I know he's good. But the weight of economics will bring him down. Listen to the clip.
If Trump goes ahead with tax cuts, tariffs, immigration tightness, we will expect to see substantial problems with respect to inflation and market financial stability going forward. He seems immensely powerful given the developments of the last 1 week, where the world seems to be bending its knee to his will. I think the gravity of economics will bring him down.
And this is where people don't realize the combined effect of all the things I've explained could bring America down. America is doing things that's going to hurt the world, that are going to hurt the world, and could hurt America very savagely. Let's see what happens. Thank you very much for watching this podcast, and thank you for being with us. And do subscribe to our channel. Do click the like button. We like it very much when people like us. That's the way we grow. And if you like us, if you subscribe to us, we can grow faster and bring you more stories, more analysis. Thank you once again.